For decades, I've cherished the privilege of representing our magnificent city in the United States Congress. It seems prophetic now that the slogan of my very first campaign in 1987 was, "A voice that will be heard." And it was you who made those words come true.
Well, reaction continues to come in about former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's retirement. Former President Barack Obama writing on X in part, "No one was more skilled at bringing people together and getting legislation passed," calling her one of the best speakers the House has ever had. For more on this conversation, let's bring in political analyst Brian Sobel. Thanks for joining the conversation.
My pleasure, Claudine. It's a wonderful day. You know, a lot of the coverage is like she's gone someplace. She hasn't. She's taken the decision to move on and to enjoy her remaining years as the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, and what a legacy she leaves.
You know, it's kind of on brand. I mean, we talk about when she handed over the leadership position in the House to Hakeem Jeffries. She's leaving now. Before people are really saying, "Oh, have you been there too long?" I mean, she is 85 years old, so it's not like she's leaving. Well, you know, and she hasn't been there for almost 4 decades. But she is leaving at a time where maybe some people would argue she could stay for a couple more years.
Absolutely. But, you know, you have to look back at her life, or all of us do, and realize, you know, the first woman Speaker of the House, we are looking at somebody who's the 52nd Speaker in the history of our nation. We're in the 119th Congress right now, and so there's a lot of history. And when you think about the fact that here is one of our own in the Bay Area who went back from California to Washington, D.C., a city she was very familiar with. I mean, her father was a member of Congress, mayor of Baltimore, but going back to Washington, D.C., and so ably representing San Francisco and doing so much for the city is a testament to her great intellect and her ability, I'll say, to get a whole lot done behind the scenes.
You know, in her announcement, she went through back into history of all the different things that she has seen and accomplished, all the kind of ups and downs. And after her announcement, she also wrote something for The Atlantic and posted that, and it was all about dark days and light and dark and really going through struggle. This, Democrats would say, it was a difficult time. Prop 50 was an accomplishment for Democrats, but it's interesting the timing and the importance of the midterms coming up for her to leave this position now.
Absolutely. And when people were asking me from the media whether she would make an announcement after Prop 50, I said quite probably. She wanted to see Prop 50 pass. I think she came to a place in her life where she said, "I've served my nation, I've served my city, and I've served my state very well." And then if you look at the timing of Scott Wiener's announcement on October 22nd, I thought it was pretty much a fait accompli that Nancy Pelosi had already made the decision that it was time for her to come home and enjoy other things in her life besides the rough and tumble of the Congress of the United States.
What's her role now, though, in a year? I mean, obviously, she's got a year left. I don't think we're not going to see a lot of her in this next year, as there's a lot of campaigns that need to happen. There's a lot of a big push that Democrats will do, and she's always been at the forefront of that. But once she leaves office, I don't expect her to kind of just fade into the background. I would imagine she would still be pretty involved.
She's will be former Speaker of the House, not once but twice, and she's going to be on the circuit, I would think, to the extent that she wants to be, with her favorite Democrat office holders who may be in districts that they're having a little problem with, where she would come in and do a fundraiser or speak at a rally. I see her doing that, but I think at this point she has really given it her all. And so I don't, to your comment, I don't see her fading away. But after her time in Congress is done, I would hope she.
You're saying she's earned the right to take a break.
She takes some time.
Yeah, you're saying she's earned the right to maybe take a minute for herself and maybe not to continue to work at that pace. In terms of her seat, I mean, you've talked about Scott Wiener. There's a bunch of people that are already lining up saying we'd like that seat the first time it's been open or up for grabs in many years in terms of not having to run against her. Big shoes to fill, and how intense do you think that race will be?
going to be interesting to watch because Scott Wiener has the inside track here. And he is a state senator, represents essentially the same district as Nancy Pelosi, but in the state Senate. And he knows San Francisco very, very well. Really bright guy, very engaging. I think he's the odds-on favorite to claim the seat. And I don't think he would have challenged Nancy Pelosi at all. And so I think he took a calculated risk that it was time to make his move for Congress. And yes, there are these other people in the race, and you don't want to discount anybody, but Scott Wiener is clearly the front runner.
Yeah, you have Shoykat Chakrabarti, you have Connie Chan, who hasn't decided yet. Even Christine Pelosi's name is running around there. But there is some time till the beginning of 2026 when people have to make a decision. So
right.
We'll certainly watch it very closely. All right, Brian Sobel, we'll have to leave it there. But as always, we appreciate your insight.
My pleasure. Have a great evening.
You too. Thanks for joining us.